Okay, guys, now I just came from the park and it's this kid teasing me because I have Fila's on. Now, mind you, I am not a material person. I just wear Fila's because I like the color and I think they're cool. They might not be what's popular today, but that's what I like. So I told the kid, it's not about what I have on my feet, it's about what I have inside my head. No matter what I'm wearing, no matter what I have on, it's about my information, the knowledgeable things in life. These sneakers are not even going to fit you in 20 years from now. So it's about what you have in your mind, your wisdom, your knowledge, the power to inspire others. And parents, please don't raise your children like the materialistic type, because once they don't have Jordans on or cool clothes, they're going to feel like they're not important. They're going to feel like they need the golden or the Jordans or the cool stuff, the popular stuff, to make them feel important.
Hello everyone, I'm your host Mona, and this is Juniority, the show that brings you the stories of young movers and shakers. Today's guest is 13-year-old Nahh Hudson, also known as King Nahh. He is an author and an international speaker who has 2 viral videos under his belt. With over 250,000 Instagram followers, his motivational videos are sure to get you fired up for life. To meet him, we are flying you to Springs, Georgia. King Nahh, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing great. Can't complain.
It's so good to have you on the show. So tell me a little bit about yourself and how you became a motivational speaker.
So, as you know, my name's Nahh Hudson, but I'm professionally known as King Nahh. My motivational speaking journey didn't start professionally till I was about 8 years old. My father, he was a photographer, so when I was younger, I would always try and get on camera. I always wanted that attention. I wanted the spotlight to be on me. And he always said no. He was always recording somebody else, but mainly it was because he didn't really want me to be on camera at first. But the more I got older, the more talent I seen, the more people he recorded, that's like the more eager I became to get on camera. So I just kept asking. And one day he finally put me on camera, which was like amazing to me. And my first video wasn't really anything special, but years of consistency and dedication, it finally happened where I had my 2 viral videos and TV shows and all of the other just different realms just came to me. And I guess that's where my motivational speaking journey started.
That's amazing. Tell me a little bit about your Fila viral video and what were you feeling at the time when you recorded that video?
Funny story, the Fila situation when I got bullied for the sneakers, it happened days before we decided to record it. We were running out of topics to do, so he said, how about you just talk about the situation at the park? And I said, all right, cool. So we're recording it. My father didn't really like how the video looked. He didn't like the background or the colors or how it was dressed. So at first he wanted to delete the video. And I kept telling him, it's not about the quality. It's not about how the video looks. It matters. The message is the only thing that matters. So he put it out, and then celebrities started paying attention to it. It went around the world in different languages, and it was crazy. And then different people started noticing me, and that's where a lot of my opportunities and blessings came from.
I'm curious, so how do you prepare for your motivational videos and speeches? What is the process that you go through?
There's not really a process to it. Speaking comes so natural to me. It's to the point where I just get on stage and talk about the topic, improvise, and, inspire the people. And videos, same thing. Get on the camera, improvise, and tell a message that people need to hear.
That's brilliant. That's wonderful. In one of your speeches, you said, if you hold on to your dreams, you become sick, and use the analogy of sneezing. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, we were sitting in the car. It was me, my dad, my stepmother, and we were thinking about the speech. So we're saying we need a scenario to really bring this message home. We need something that if you hold it in, it makes you sicker, or it's so it was a sneeze. If you hold in a sneeze, it's bacteria, something your body's trying to get out, and if you don't get it out, you leave all the bacteria in you. And we compared that to the speech, where if you don't get your dreams out and you just keep them in you, the longer you keep them in you, the more it hurts. So, we came up with that, and it went great with the speech, and that's really gave it the home run.
Speaking of holding your dreams, what advice would you give adults, and what are some ways that they can allow their dreams to grow?
Well, one thing I can say for any adult who may be afraid to, really chase their dreams, that you can't be afraid to take risk. You're not living life if you're not taking risk. You never know what you can experience. You never know what opportunities may come your way if you don't take risks. If you just stay in your comfort zone your entire life, then you're never going to elevate. The only way you can get past the level that you're on now is to just take a leap of faith. You can't stay in the same place forever. You can't do the same thing forever. You're going to have to do something new at the end of the day. And a lot of times life is going to have to give you that kick, that push, but sometimes life won't do that for you. Sometimes you have to do that for yourself. So don't be afraid to take risks. Don't be afraid to take a leap of faith. Don't be afraid to chase opportunities when you see them. You may be worried about, oh, what would happen if I quit my job? Or what would happen if I did this or did that? No entrepreneur was successful and didn't have mistakes. No great artist or celebrity got to where they are without taking a risk.
I love it. So tell me what role fear plays in pursuing what you want to do. And did you experience that early on when you were trying to do what you were doing?
Yes, I did experience a lot of fear, and I'd say when I first started speaking and traveling, I was always comfortable around speaking around other kids my age and younger. But I feel like the only time I really ever got nervous is when I spoke to an older crowd. When you're in a situation and it's like, okay, I have to do this. And if I don't do this, these people are just going to sit here and it's going to be, oh, so this is the kid that everyone's looking at, or the motivational speaker, and he's not delivering. When you're doing something and you're trying to prove something, you have to deliver. So, and trust me, fear goes away as soon as you get on stage, or as soon as you go out and perform. Fear only lasts for a few quick seconds, and as soon as you feel the energy of the room or of the crowd or the people around you, then trust me, all of that's going to go out the window, and you won't ever really experience fear again.
That's wonderful. So let's talk about, there's some people that have said, you don't have certain experiences to be able to, give motivational advice to adults. How do you combat that?
What I would say to that is, it's a lot of kids in the world who's been through a lot, who's been through pain, who's been through trouble. And a lot of people look at me and they say, oh, this is a kid who everything was given to him. He didn't grow up and struggle or anything like that. But it's like, a person doesn't have to grow up in the same reality as you to be able to teach you something. A person doesn't have to be in pain. A person doesn't have to be in struggle. And besides, if you went through pain in your life, then why would you want anybody else to experience that? It's not something that you would want to put anyone else through. But it's like, just because I may not have went through the same pains as other people doesn't mean I don't have my own pains that could affect me in the same way as them. But it also doesn't mean that I can't teach them just because I haven't went through what they've went through. It's like you can learn anything from anyone. It doesn't matter how old, how young, what they look like. It's like as soon as you let your guard down and just allow your pride and allow your ego to just go away for one moment and look at someone who you think, like, I just saw this video not too long ago. It was a video of a homeless man. He was talking to these two dudes, and the knowledge that he was giving them was extraordinary. A lot of people wouldn't think that you can get that information from a man who they would look at and say, oh, he failed in life. Look at him, he's sleeping on the street. Look at that, wearing the same clothes. People wouldn't think that you could learn something from someone like that. But usually, those are the people who know the most, because they've already experienced failure, or what we call failure. They already been on their lowest. So that means that they have information on how you can avoid and not make the same mistakes they did. So those are the people who really know it all.
Wow, that's very, very powerful. I absolutely love that. Let's talk about your videos, because you talk about energy. Tell me your thoughts about energy and how we should use it.
Energy is very important for me. Like, it's something I use so much, because it's like, even when when I speak to a crowd who doesn't have the up energy, I try to give my energy off to them, and that makes them feel good. But it's like energy is so important, and especially when you're an entertainer or a performer, it's like you need that energy to come from somewhere. You need that energy to come from someone, because it's like when you don't feel the positive vibe, or you don't feel the positive energy, it's like it knocks you off a lot. And I had to experience that even when I started speaking, because it's like the first few places I spoke to, they were all super excited and happy. So I would just use that energy, and it made me feel comfortable on stage. But it's like the first place I did speak to and I didn't feel that positive energy, it did knock me off a little bit and made me feel uncomfortable, because it's like, oh, so this is the first place I'm speaking at, and they don't have that energy, they don't have that happiness, and it's something that you really have to pull from yourself a lot of times, and there's nothing wrong with that. One thing I would say to anyone who's trying to accomplish their dream is don't always try to pull from other people's energy. Most of the time, you have to use yours.
Oh my God, that's fantastic. So Forbes magazine named you the most motivational kid in America. What does that mean to you, and how did that make you feel when you found out?
Everyone around me was telling me, oh, you were on Forbes magazine. And to this day, it's like, I don't really read magazines like that. So it's like, I can't really say that it made me feel like the quote was nice. They said most motivational kid in America. That made me feel good. But it's like, oh, so many people were telling me, oh, you were on Forbes. That's cool. That's great. You know who was on Forbes? And they were just telling me all the other people. But it's like, I don't really know Forbes. You get what I'm saying? But it's like, I do appreciate it, though. It did make me feel, I do appreciate it. It was nice.
Very well said. So tell me about the book that you wrote, We Are All Kings, and what inspired you to write that book?
So what inspired me to write that book is, mainly hearing my father's story and hearing a lot of other people's story, and especially young men, and just seeing how difficult it is, and especially growing up in the neighborhood that I was growing up in. A lot of people weren't having opportunities. They weren't given opportunities. They weren't, it wasn't much to believe in, basically. Their fathers weren't there, mothers were on and off. It's like the neighborhood was crazy. So the only influence in the family that you may have is, in the streets. So that's why it was a lot of gang activity and just violence, because it's like there's nobody else to look up to. So why not just go with this crowd? So the reason I made that book is to just give other young men my age in that community just hope, and not just that community, but everywhere, because everywhere somebody is going through something. And I have a book, We Are All Queens, coming soon. Basically, that's basically the same thing, just motivational guide, inspiring the young ladies, inspiring young women, and just letting them know that they're great. And like I said, We Are All Kings, that really just came from a place of giving opportunities and giving hope to other young men and men who are just going through problems and, different things like that. So that's why the title is We Are All Kings. But We Are All Queens is coming up soon.
Fantastic. So what would you say is the most memorable experience that you've had on your journey of becoming what you have today?
The most memorable moment, I have about 3. The first moment was when I got shared by, do you know who Mark Ruffalo is?
I do.
Yes, the first moment of excitement that hit me is when Mark Ruffalo shared me. And like I said, how I said earlier, when I was so young, the only thing I really knew about was superheroes and people on TV. So Mark Ruffalo shared me. I went crazy. And then Steve Rogers isn't his real name. That's Captain America. Chris Evans. When Chris Evans commented, and Robert Downey Jr. and then Thor, it was like, oh my God, wow. So I was just blown away, shocked. And then the second time is when I actually got to meet them in LA. And so Black Panther was there. And he was walking, and everyone else, I was already super nervous and happy at the same time, because I got my pictures with everyone. I saw Kevin Hart. I didn't get to get a picture with him, unfortunately, because he was there with his kids, and he was trying to keep it secret. And I was way taller than him at that time too. And I was short, so I can imagine how tall I am now compared to Kevin Hart. So I see Black Panther. He's walking down. He has a whole bunch of people around him. And really quick, I yell, "Oh, Black Panther, can I get a picture?" It was so it just like that. And at first I thought he couldn't hear me. So I was like, dang. And I didn't want to ask again because I didn't want to seem like that person that's just, So then he stops. Everyone around him stops. It was like in the Matrix where everyone just stops. And then he just looks at me and he goes just like this. He stops, turns it, like he did the most dramatic thing. He said just like that. And bro, my whole life, I did not waste 1 minute. I ran over there, took a picture, everything. It was crazy. And even my father was excited. Like the pictures came out, okay, thank you. And it was so crazy. And then, so that was the second one. The third one is when I got DM'd by my favorite basketball player, Giannis. Man, he plays for the Milwaukee Bucks. He lost in the third round to Toronto. Giannis DM'd me. I was so excited, man. I was gonna cry, but I had to hold it in.
That's brilliant. Well, I'm glad you have so many amazing moments. You have a wonderful relationship with your dad, and I think he's done a phenomenal job at allowing your greatness to shine. What role do you believe that your dad has played in you becoming who you are today?
I feel like if it wasn't for my dad, then I most definitely wouldn't be right here. Because he was the first one with the camera and photographer, because no one else around me was really doing that. Like he was the first person I saw that from. So if it wasn't for him in those earlier years, I wouldn't have been inspired enough, or I wouldn't have had the energy I do now, or I would have about this, because I wouldn't have seen images from other people who are becoming successful anywhere else, except for my father and the people that he was putting on camera. And that's what really made me want to start doing it when I was younger, because I knew that it wasn't impossible. Something always told me that everything is attainable, everything's in reach of my hand. And I feel like because of my father being there, that's what gave me that mindset.
What is next for King Nahh? Where are you taking your brand and who you are?
Right now, I'm just growing. I'm living right now. So it's I can only tell you when you see it in the future. Right now, I don't know what I have planned, You never know. And plus, I don't want to spoil anything either. It's just you'll see. You'll most definitely see it.
So, King Nahh, for people that want to find out more about you, where can they find you?
My @ on everything is King Nahh, KINGNAHH. If anyone would like to purchase my shirts and my book, you can go to my website, kingnahh.com, or you can go to my Instagram, click the link in my bio. It'll take you directly to Amazon. Well, it'll take you directly to my book on Amazon. And if you go to my website, my shirt stuff will be on there. So guys, please, check your boy out, Yeah.
Tell me what your t-shirt means. You say the next generation is watching.
It means basically for everyone in this generation, adults, even kids, it's the way that we have to carry ourselves. It's the way that we have to, market ourselves in a positive light and positive ways, because if we don't get better, then the next generation isn't going to get better, and the next generation after that isn't going to get better. So we have to improve on ourselves, because the next generation is watching us, and what they see and learn from us is eventually what they're going to be doing in the future.
Fantastic. Well, King Nahh, thank you so much. You're such a delightful guest. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this interview with us, and you're absolutely brilliant, and keep doing you. You're just phenomenal.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you. Hey guys, thank you for watching our show. If you like what you saw, share it and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to check out our website at junioritytv.com, and on social media you can find us at junioritytv. Until next time, peace.